For more than 100 years, First Choice Bank has provided dedicated community banking to North Mississippi. The banking products and services you need when you need them. At First Choice, you're our priority. Make First Choice your choice for banking.
Even though Gabe grew up in Alabama, Mississippi has now become his home and his family. And one thing about Gabe is he keeps his family safe.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 5.
Well, welcome back to a brand new work week in Mississippi Live Weather at 5, breaking down that forecast for what to expect. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor. We'll be joined by our chief meteorologist Matt Laubon here in just a moment. But first, we got to talk about what we've experienced today. Cooler weather and, dare I say, false fall. I mean, it's in full swing. I walked out the door even late last night and was thinking, what is this weather? I haven't experienced it in quite a while. Well, that's what we'll be tracking here in a moment. But first, we need your help. Our chief meteorologist Matt Laubon, like I said, joining us in just a moment, and he's going to be breaking down just what we need your help with. He talked about it earlier on today, but breaking that down a little bit more in detail in case you missed it. And we got a fun season planned with high school football. The temperatures get even cooler than what we had today. Believe it or not, false fall, dare I say, might feel like real fall at some point just because of how much those temperatures dial back. But rain chances also possible heading into our Tuesday, breaking down those chances here in just a moment. We're going to talk about those first 12, and those first 12 remains with a little bit of those isolated showers far in the northwest. Some of that moisture trickling in from Arkansas. Could see a few of those as early as 9 o'clock, those lingering overnight. And you see where the best chances lie for that rainfall. It's going to be towards your morning commute on your Tuesday. A little bit of an abnormal pattern. We're usually used to seeing the moisture move into the forecast on the latter part of the day. Tomorrow, probably going to be seeing it at the beginning. But Matt, it's dry right now, and that's a good thing for football, right? And that's what we're going to be talking about here at 5 o'clock is just how Mississippi Live Weather is going to be a part of the football season.
Absolutely. What we're planning here, what we've been planning for weeks, is kind of an opportunity to feature multiple locations across North Mississippi. I'm live at maybe one of the more noteworthy locations, or at least more recognizable because of the turf you see behind me, out here at Tupelo High School at Renaissance Field. They have a junior varsity game going on here in about 30 minutes or so. But when the varsity players get going on Friday nights, we are planning to feature locations around North Mississippi in our Friday night football game of the week. The first week is coming up, obviously, this week, and we need your help. We put out the call earlier today on Facebook for folks to suggest what locations should end up being our Friday night football game of the week. And we're going to be asking you each week if your community, or if a school that you're interested in should be that. So you'll notice here on the screen, you can see the video I posted with my son talking about what we're planning on doing here. But there's also comments on the far right-hand part of the screen. That's where you can put in your location and the game for this week, or we'll do it again next week and the week after that, to suggest where we should go on Friday. What we're going to do is we're going to select 3 locations there, and then we're going to let you vote on those locations on Tuesday. And then after we've selected that Friday night football game of the week, then we're going to work to try to figure out who are the brand, who are the cheerleaders of the week. And then we're going to go live from that location on Friday night, and we're going to produce highlights. That's right, football highlights, maybe a little more comprehensive than what you're used to seeing for some of these football games that we'll have Mississippi Live Weather at 10 o'clock on Friday evening. So it is a week-long project devoted to what so many folks devote their time to. I mean, you can see this is, Monday. We got the cheerleaders here behind me that are all getting ready for the junior varsity game today. And everybody, of course, gets ready for that Friday football game all week. And so to feature the band, the cheerleaders of the week, and of course, to go to different locations here across North Mississippi over the course of the next 15 weeks is just an honor. It's going to be a fun project, Gabe. So again, we need folks' help in order to help us select where are we going to go live from. We've already had a lot of folks that have found that post on Facebook, have put in that information. Coming up tonight at 10 o'clock, I think we might weed it down to the last couple, and then we'll post those 3 nominees and let you vote on where we're going to have for our Friday night football game of the week. And so we're going to be doing that throughout football season. Gabe, I know it's something I'm excited for. A lot of those weeks I'm going to be live. On a couple of occasions, you're going to be live, and Maggie as well. And that's one other thing. Before before we're done, I want to mention our morning show starting here on Mississippi Live Weather. On Wednesday, our meteorologist, Maggie McCauley, worked with her earlier today. You saw a live stream from her earlier today. Just excited to be able to bring a more comprehensive way to look at the weather here in North Mississippi. And that'll start with mornings at 6:30 on Wednesday morning. Of course, more on that as we get closer. But from Tupelo High School, I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopon from Mississippi Live Weather.
There's plenty of good news, man. Mississippi Live Weather, we're finally getting all hands on deck. And I know that you're excited, I'm excited, and just to have the 24-hour team fully intact, it's just exciting.
It really is, to be able to provide hopefully comprehensive coverage on all types of weather. We haven't really needed it with this kind of weather now, and certainly it's a great evening to go out and about, but the time will come sooner as opposed to later where things start to get interesting. But you mentioned it. Tonight, just beautiful weather, and we actually could be arguably a little cool for a couple nights going forward, right?
Oh, for sure. It's perfect for heading out to a junior varsity game. So if you want to go join Matt there at Tupelo High School, a perfect evening for it. Or just if you want to get outside, walk in the front yard and just soak it in. A breath of fresh air that you can actually take in. Yeah, we haven't had said those words in a while, and those temperatures get even better. Right now, 84 degrees in Adenton, and those blue skies still showing off, and the sunshine reflecting off those spiderwebs as well, showing you the beautiful conditions we have. So if you've not gotten out and about today, well, you're not out of the way just yet, but definitely get outside and do so because it's that drier air that's making it so much more bearable in the forecast. Not just in Adenton, Crenshaw coming in 82 degrees. Look at that dew point. 55 degrees as of 5 o'clock on a Monday. I mean, that is as ideal of a forecast as you can get. Granted, some of those skies filled with that stratus cloud blanketing the sky. No moisture just yet, but those stratus clouds actually transitioning to a little bit of moisture there on the northwest side of the state. So that's why Crenshaw, of course, seeing a little bit more of that cloud cover. But the further south and east we pull it, the more of that blue sky that prevails. 90 degrees in Greenwood, still our local high temperature. Greenwood, you are always the winner, or some days the loser when it comes to just how high those temperatures get. But fortunately today, 90 degrees is not too shabby when it's paired with a dew point of 61. Those northerly winds still keeping that dry forecast around, at least feeling drier in the air. We talk about moisture entering into the forecast. That's just one of those frontal boundaries pushing in, but not going to be too impactful rainfall-wise, and really just it's not going to impact our drier weather either. So looking at that Mississippi Live Weather radar, you do see a few of those showers at least trying to transition there towards the northwest side of the state. Let me change radar sites here so that way I put it on a loop. Hang on one second behind the scenes. I'm going to adjust this here real quick because I do want us to take a look at this in more detail. So let me change radar sites right here, and I'm going to jump that up to, let me go there. We're going to go there. I apologize for that. And then we'll, of course, put it on the Memphis radar site. And there you kind of get a visual on it, where it's going to be further into Arkansas. Some of that moisture already starting to move in there towards West Helena and Clarksdale, right along that Highway 61 threshold there in northwest Mississippi. Putting that on a loop, you can definitely see how that's tried to move in just a little bit more over the last hour. So we're just crossing the Mississippi River, and that's where a large part of our moisture will come from. So just how much of that moisture actually gets into northwest Mississippi? Well, tonight, very minimal, but towards tomorrow morning, more impactful. And that's one of the things we'll break down here in a second on Futurecast, and I'll make sure to fix this for the 6 o'clock so that we don't have to keep stepping off screen. But let's get back into the rainfall totals that we've seen today. And again, whenever we're talking about the best areas for rain chances, North Mississippi has not been one of them. We have to expand things out to really get a visual, and it's really going to be in the Gulf Coast and really over there towards Oklahoma City and moving into parts of Little Rock. That frontal boundary, like we were talking about, that's our best chance of rainfall over the next 48 hours. And we will be getting some, but it's just primarily going to be happening towards tomorrow morning. There's a look at your front, and that front going to be moving slightly to the north just a bit, and that's where that moisture will extend across the Mississippi River into North Mississippi. Nothing major with the system. What it is it's just a good moderate rainfall. I'm not going to say it's a drought buster, but it's definitely making its impact on that drought monitor as it pushes more into Memphis, Greenville, and then that northwest side, Senatobia. It's going to be a good little drenching towards tomorrow morning that'll hopefully alleviate that drought just a bit. Futurecast showing exactly that. You see those light showers continuing about 7:30, 8 o'clock there towards Tate and Tunica County. That moving more towards Marshall County by 10, and it basically sticks along that Tennessee state line overnight for our best chances. Still very isolated in nature, but there's the bulk of the rainfall. And some of those deeper greens showing up, those oranges and reds, meaning heavier rainfall will mix in just a bit, and that, of course, making its way into North Mississippi. And you see that morning commute. And you definitely need those windshield wipers on across North Mississippi because it is covering a good amount of folks along their morning commute, heading to school, heading to work, whatever the plans are. need to have that rain gear ready. That's going to be early hours on our Tuesday. I probably need to up this as well and bump it up to about 40% there for 6, 7, and 8 o'clock. But by 9, 10, 11, and even towards noon, those chances start to dissipate out just a bit, becoming more isolated towards the afternoon. So flip-flopping the pattern we usually see this time of year, but still going to be a good little soaking that we still need here in North Mississippi, especially in that northwest side of the state. So it's exactly what we need. Just make sure to have that rain gear ready for your morning commute. Now, coming up in the next 60, we'll be talking more on that focused forecast for northwest Mississippi, but all of North Mississippi over the next 48 hours and what to expect heading into the midweek. We're also talking about temperatures, and it's a good forecast temperature-wise. You're used to me talking about the sweltering summer air. Well, now it's that I need something that has alliteration with fall. Not frigid. I don't know. I'll think of something, but cooler fall air moving in. We'll be talking about that coming up in Mississippi Live Weather at 5 in the next 60.
At Room to Room, did you know our specialty is custom ordered upholstery? Get the furniture you want and the fabric and color selection you want. With our free design service, we won't let you make a mistake.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt Lawpon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt Lawpon has proven himself trustworthy.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynard.
Well, Craig, you said it best in our chat. You know fall is near when football is here. And football is here in full swing. Jamboree weekend this past weekend and week 1 of college and high school football coming your way this weekend. And we are so excited about it here at Mississippi Live Weather and excited to be out in the community. If you missed Matt's announcement earlier today and even earlier in this broadcast, we will have another update coming tonight at 6. Make sure to stay tuned and get the very latest information because it is a project that we've been working on here at Mississippi Live Weather behind the scenes and excited to get that in action to get us out in the community. And speaking of out in the community, Caledonia coming in with 85 degrees, that wind blowing in from the north at about 10 miles an hour. So some breezy parts of the afternoon, but that breeze just adding to what has already been a fantastic forecast. I thought of the word fantastic fall forecast. There's your alliteration for the day. I finally figured it out. I just needed about 60 seconds to figure it out. But Caledonia, not the only ones experiencing those fantastic fall conditions. Edinburgh coming in 82 degrees. That's actually further south of where our viewing area sits there towards Leake County and moving into Carthage and that area south of Attala and Winston County. Winds still blowing out of the north about 5 to 10 miles an hour, but that dew point, I mean, you see it on your screen right there, 61 degrees. And whenever that dew point has a higher threshold from where the temperatures actually are, that's the drier air moving in place. The more moist air, you'll see those dew points basically line up even with those temperatures. That's kind of our measure of moisture that we talk about. So dew points, I mean, that's all we need to take a look at to understand it is a fantastic forecast. Oxford, 81 degrees, so those winds a little bit breezy, 5 to 10 miles an hour. Dew points actually even lower in Lafayette County, 55 degrees. So that drier air really prevailing the further north you go. But of course, showers moving in north and west. And that's what we're watching in the extended forecast. The further southwest we are, I mean, I'm just starting to gather this more and more with Greenwood and now Rolling Fork showcasing 90 degrees. It is more of a toasty forecast over there, but still cooler than what we typically be at this time of year. Keep in mind, Greenwood and Rolling Fork, they were talking triple digits this time last week. So take your blessings where you can. The cloud cover definitely impacting those temperatures as well, preventing them from climbing too much, and those temperatures actually get even better over the next 24 hours. Mississippi Live Weather Radar already showcasing a few of those showers moving across the Mississippi River, basically over the top of Highway 61 north of Clarksdale. That going to be impacting more of us as it pushes further into the evening and overnight hours. And tomorrow morning, we're looking at a decent downpour. National Radar showcasing a lot of that moisture back there towards Little Rock, north side of Arkansas, and as far east as Jonesboro. Some heavy heavier sections, but those are expected to become even heavier towards tomorrow morning. That's why we have a decent rainfall output for our morning commute. Rainfall totals over the past 24 haven't populated these on the east side of the state just yet, but as that front transitions a little bit more towards the east, that's where we'll see those rain chances increase as well. Some decent rainfall outputs already, though. We're talking 2 to 4 inches on the east side of Oklahoma, and yes, that is a realistic possibility for our morning commute in some areas tomorrow. So pick up. Need to make sure to have that rain gear ready as you drop your kids off or as the kids head to the bus stop, because that rain probably already coming down before we even head out the door. So that'll be a good reminder as we go about the day. But take a look at the temperatures. Yes, I mean, we're not cooling off. We are cooling off, but as much as we could be, because that moisture, that cloud cover that's going to be covering the sky limits how much we see that cooling, but it also limits how much heat gets into the atmosphere. So that's why temperatures towards the afternoon, a lot of locations not surpassing that upper 70-degree threshold. So it is going to be a perfect forecast, and I would argue that you will not sweat tomorrow, depending on who you are. I think that we will evade that for our forecast because the temperatures will be so good all day long. Futurecast into our overnight hours highlights that northern wind, but that moisture trying to move into the forecast as a part of that stationary front. That's going to be 7, 8, even there towards 9 o'clock, real isolated in fashion along the Tennessee state line. But watch how we transition overnight and into the start of our Tuesday. You definitely see those showers become a little bit more numerous and a little bit more widespread, not really by 2 a.m. I'm talking about the time we are heading out the door for our Tuesday morning commute. Those heavier showers moving towards Senatobia, West Helena, Clarksdale, and even there towards Shelby, Mississippi, Panola County, getting a decent downpour as well. As we push into 6, 7 o'clock, that's where those showers really become more numerous. So, of course, with that moisture still in the forecast further west, those temperatures not cooling off nearly as much, still around 70 degrees towards Greenville. But the further east you pull it, we're talking 62 Red Bay, 63 Iuka, 62 in Boonville. I know a Blue Devil who will be very happy about that forecast, and 65 down there towards Aliceville. Let's carry that forecast into the rest of our Tuesday morning, and that's where those showers become a bit more numerous. Some of those yellows that are popping up showcases a little bit more of those heavier downpours. So with how much rainfall we'll be seeing, I wouldn't be surprised over a 3 or 4 hour span that we get 2+ inches of rainfall. So that'll be good for the drought monitor, but just impact your morning commute by turning those wipers on and, of course, driving slow to accommodate for those slick conditions. Tuesday morning continues, and those showers will become a little bit more dissipated, a little bit less widespread. And of course, those chances dissolve on out towards our Tuesday afternoon. So our best rain chances flip from what it usually is this time of year. Not going to be those afternoon showers. It'll be those morning showers. Not expecting too many rumbles of thunder. Just going to be one of those soaking forecasts, especially north of Highway 82. 3 p.m. Some of that moisture tries to push down south, but overall we're not high on those rain chances. Very limited moisture the further south you go. 4 p.m. Some of those isolated showers still highlighting around that Highway 6 area, basically across the northern side of the state. 5, 6 p.m. and we'll continue to see that into our afternoon and evening forecast. Now, while rain chances are not high for our afternoon, they are still there, and that'll actually limit how much we heat up the atmosphere. So temperatures only coming in upper 70s. I mean, guys, I mean, what more needs to be said? A few places in the low 80s, 83 Belzona and Greenville. If that's our high temperatures on, let's see, August 26th, golly, I'm speechless. I was speechless last week, and it's made me even more speechless. I don't know what the adjective is for that, but it's this. And then those feels like values right around that upper 70 threshold, showcasing that even with the moisture in the air, we're still going to be experiencing those drier conditions as that northern wind drives in a lot of that drier feeling air. So Tuesday, of course, those showers moving a little bit more south as that frontal boundary pushes south, and then we'll be getting just what's left of that front towards our Wednesday. So while rain chances limited to none, we could see a few of those pop-up showers, Winston, Attala, and Noxubee County. Noontime staying on the drier side, and there that wind starts to push in once again. High pressure moving into the forecast, and that's what's circulating in a lot of that continental air, which is of course drier and cooler. And so that's why we're not having very many rain chances for our Wednesday. There you see a frontal boundary trying to push into the forecast, and this is actually what we call a warm front. Warm front typically has more of that moist air, so temperatures will be just a tick up from where we'll sit at tomorrow as some of that warmer, moisture air moves in. Now, we're not talking oppressive summer heat. Temperatures still not too shabby, but at least an uptick from where we'll be at tomorrow with the upper 70s. So high temperatures Wednesday, already starting that warming trend with the mid to upper 80s expected. 88 Greenwood, 87 Clarksdale, 83 Oxford, 86 there towards Water Valley. The heat indices still right around that same margin, meaning that that drier air, once again, even with that moisture returning just a bit and warming us up, it's not going to be too impactful as that drier air does prevail. But here you get a look at that forecast on Tuesday. I mean, non-existent. So it means it's not going to be surpassing that 80-degree mark for a lot of locations. Climbing to 84 Wednesday, but then that's where we stick around for the next several days. So as of right now, that 7-day outlook doesn't have those oppressive summer conditions that we experience here in Mississippi returning. But we're not out of the woods just yet. Summer's still in full swing for another 30 days. So we'll need to keep an eye on that. Just very grateful that it is going to be that calmer forecast. Rainfall-wise, increased chances by Thursday as that front pushes in, that warm front, and then 30% for your weekend, unfortunately, for week 1 of college football, and of course that high school football forecast. But luckily, I mean, we're only talking 20 to 30%, which this time of year, very limited, so at least a few folks getting a break in that forecast. Temperature-wise, like we mentioned, climbing into our Wednesday with a good bit of sunshine, especially there towards the afternoon, but rain chances returning for Thursday, Friday, and on into the weekend. It's going to be a perfect forecast temperature-wise. We just have to keep that rain gear around for a couple of days as those showers linger on through. We'll be walking through that forecast in more detail when it comes to those rain chances and, of course, this cooler air, how long it sticks around for, and those outlooks going forward. We'll go beyond the 7-day. We'll go into the next 30 just to walk through that entire forecast. And, of course, all the more reason to stay tuned. We'll be talking to our Chief Meteorologist, Matt Lobhon, out in the field, walking us through what we'll be doing here at Mississippi Live Weather for this football season. Excited about it, and I hope you guys are too. So make sure to tune in at 6 for the very latest updates on that, and not just updates on football. We also are we've officially added her, but actually making it happen with the morning show coming up later on this week. We'll be talking about that in more detail on Mississippi Live Weather at 6, and our next broadcast, of course, Mississippi Live Weather at 10. And hey, there you go, live shows 6:30, 7, and 7:30 in the morning, starting on your Wednesday. Excited to talk about all of this and more. Hope to see you guys there on Mississippi Live Weather at 6.
Community is the way we find our strength and share our hope. It's the way dinner on the table brings a family closer together. It's the way we make sure his first chapter book is the first step on his path to greatness. It's the way we rally in hard times and rise back up stronger than ever. United is the way we come together so everyone can thrive. Join us at unitedway.org.
Mississippi Live Weather Center